Your financial future starts now.
Bang, bang, bang. Let's get it.
On Big Mama Radio. Now.
Bang, bang, bang. Let's get it.
On Big Mama
You got
Radio.
Neo. That's you.
Now.
We're back.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Financial 15 with the legend himself, the financial guru, the philanthropist, the award-winning, the amazing man himself, ladies and gentlemen, Tommy Bohannon. Everybody knows him. He blesses us with his presence each and every Wednesday.
Jesus.
What?
He's like the Pope.
I love it.
Well,
Feels
bro,
so special
if I
coming in
didn't
here.
think that you were good at what you did, I'd be like, hey, man, we got to come up with something else. Yeah, we got to come up with something else. This ain't working. This ain't working. But it works, and I believe in what Tommy does, and that's why I encourage him to come here. But it's more than the fact that he's a financial planner. It's the fact that Tommy is a person who is a part of our community. He's someone who's out there doing the right thing. He's got a softball game coming up in November. He's still looking for teams. Is there a cutoff on how many teams you can have for the softball?
Yeah, so we have 5 fields. So if we get over, like, realistically, like 16 to 20, then it's going to be a long day for us. But, I mean, it's all for the kids. So
How many teams do you have currently? Do you know the answer to that?
I believe we have 10. I think we have 10 signed up right now. So
It's almost like the sweet number. That's like when
Yeah,
5
so
fields, 2 fields.
yeah, no bye games, anything
Right.
like
everybody's,
that. So.
everybody's constantly playing. There's no breaks.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So it just goes.
No
goes.
breaks.
Yeah, so we do a 2-game minimum, and so it kind of makes it at least enjoyable for everybody. Even if you're not the best softball team out there, it's still fun.
All right. Are they out there? Are there teams out there that put this like a all-star team together?
Listen, I call it the professional softball teams because there's guys out there, guys and girls out there that go out and win money to be part of these adult softball teams or anything like that. And
Nice.
so we typically we have maybe 1 or 2 of those teams that come out, but typically it's the businesses, it's the people that support us every day that
They
are
put
out
together
there
a
putting
team.
together a team. And like I said, it's fun for the whole family. We have bounce houses, we have breakfast truck, we have Brooks Nugget wagons coming out for the afternoon. We have vendors, we have all types of stuff. So I think we have a permanent jewelry vendor coming out.
When is this happening? What's the date on this again?
November 30th.
November 30th. Make sure you mark that down in your calendar now, November 30th. Sign a team up. Here's the deal. If you're going to come watch it, bring a toy. If you're going to sign a team up, you can either sign your team up with cash or you could pay 1 toy per teammate, per player on your team. What's the maximum amount of players you can have on a team?
12.
12 players on a team. So 12 toys, get your team in registered for free. All you got to do is go out and get the toys and be ready for a massive toy drive that's going to be basically happening because that's what Tommy Bohannon does. And sometimes it's not just, and I'm going to give him something you didn't know was coming. Sometimes it's not just for the kids and not just for local school athletes. Sometimes he has a big heart for other people.
Yeah.
And RC is a comedian here in town. A lot of people know RC.
other people.
And RC's been going through some things with his family and needing to raise money. And RC would sell everything on it that he owns before he would ask somebody for $1.
Right.
He would act like he wasn't living in his car because he needed to save money and would live in his car. And you would never know it because that's the type of person he is. So Katie and Tommy get this idea to do a fundraising comedy event that he's going to headline.
Yes.
That he has no idea is a fundraiser for him. And this happened, by the way. I wish I could have been there. I was unfortunately unable to find somebody who could work for me on the night that it happened. But last Thursday, this all went down. And how did it go? Did it? A lot of funds raised. That camera, by the way, is perfect eye level.
I know.
To where it's like blocks me from whoever's in that seat. It's the location of that camera.
It went really well, and he was completely surprised. So it was funny because his whole, act is making fun of the crowd,
Right.
and when people are actively trying to fundraise for him, it kind of threw him off a bit. But he was still fantastic. He still did put on a great show. But we were able to raise quite a bit of money for his mother's
Go the other
care,
way.
and it was exciting.
Ah, there you are.
I can see it.
Hey, it's all good now. There we go.
I know.
Now-
I felt like I was looking directly
Betty
into the
can't-
camera.
Well, Betty looks under the camera, so it's different for her. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Her,
not
her
like-
profile angle is a little bit different than most. She's looking from table level, so it's a
Right.
little different. Man, well, I'm so glad that went over well, and the reason being is because he always donates his time to your fundraiser.
Right. He's
and-
raised tons of money for us because he does he typically auctions off a cooking and comedy night where he with all of the shows that he used to be on in
He did
New
it.
York
Didn't
City.
he do two? Didn't he do two?
He did two at his own thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, at ours he did as well.
Right.
And it's a fun night where he, like I said, with all the shows that he used to do in New York, he learned how to cook. And so he cooks a delicious meal and then makes fun of everybody while he's doing it.
Have you ever had him do it for you?
We are having one of our friends won it at his event that we just did, and I guess it's at our house. So
Oh, nice.
That
There
is
you
so
go.
cool.
Now you can have firsthand experience.
Right.
so we
oh,
haven't
it's
had it
gonna be
done
so much fun
personally.
watching him roast Tommy. Yeah. Like that's the deal. He has to
He
have a
does
field day
everything.
with it. And he is
coming out of the
I've done so
bedroom with
many-
a wife beater on, like, what you doing in my house?
I've done right. I've done so many events with him that I just know how great he is, and it was really great. Like when I came up to do the auction for you, he goes, "I normally do the auction, but you're going to do it," and I was like, "Yeah." And then afterwards, he's like, "Yeah, you're going to do the auction from here on out," and I was like, "Cool."
It's you.
So they're all great events, but and like I say, sometimes we come in here and we talk financial advice, and sometimes we sit down and we just talk about the Tommy Bohannon Foundation because I think they're equal parts of your life. And
for sure.
and obviously you make your living by being the financial advisor, and that's how you pay your mortgage and your rent, and you don't make a living off of the foundation at all, although some people believe you should, because it's something that is next level. I've lived in, and you should hear this because this matters, Philadelphia. I've lived in Phoenix. I've lived in Memphis, Minneapolis, Fresno, Spokane. And these are just places as an adult, including, and these are just radio places. I'm not even talking about in the military and these other places that I
Yeah.
lived. But these are just radio places that I lived. Albuquerque, New Mexico, that I did my career, and these are places that I lived. And never once have I ever seen an organization like the Tommy Bohannon Foundation, because this organization will stop what they're doing to help the kids of Southwest Florida. And it's a no-brainer. And that's why I always say when they raise funds, and they give it back. Like
Right.
Yeah.
they're not raising funds, and then the next thing you know, like you see, they're not giving any of it back. All of it goes back. They give it right back, and and that's what makes it exciting for you, I think, is raising that money, knowing you have more to give away.
Right.
It's like being Santa Claus almost. Like, I get to raise all this. I've got all this money now. I'm going to go give it to all the little kiddies and make sure they can play football and baseball and soccer and all the sports they love to play.
All of them.
Well, I think especially with the toy drive coming up, that's kind of the coolest culmination of fundraising, because then we actually go to the North Fort Myers Walmart and we buy toys with all the money that we've raised, and they actually
Back. They
close
give it
down
back.
like 2 or 3 lanes for us, because then we actually go to the North Fort Myers
Jesus?
Walmart. Hello. But they actually close down 2 or 3 lanes for us, and we have carts that are from the front of the registers all the way back.
Because you do the shopping.
Yeah, we
with
do
the
the
cash
shopping.
that you raise.
Yeah, and
Do you-
we actually bring out like some of the kids too, because we don't know what's cool
Right.
anymore.
And
So
the first year, was it just you guys that did the shopping?
it was us and a couple of like our nieces and nephews. So it was like 2 or 3 people.
It took forever, right?
Took forever. Well, it still takes forever because for whatever reason, and I'm gonna have to get the manager's number because I need to talk to him about a few things. But they cut off not a certain dollar amount. They cut it off at a certain item amount. So I think it's 75 items. They close the register and you have to cash out.
Oh.
So I'm wondering if we can get them to suspend it and then just pay at the end one time.
I bet you they're good like that. That's a
Yeah.
great store. They're just great people there. I love everything about North Fort Myers Walmart.
But now we have a group of probably 30 people that come through.
So, and it's half the time.
Yeah.
Like, right. When we first started doing the bike drives, we would collect. It was bikes and toys, and it would be all about collecting as much money. And then we would go in and we used to do back in the day when Walmart was open 24 hours. You would do 5 days in a row and live in the parking lot and do these bike drives because people would come at 1 o'clock in the morning and bring you 5 bikes because that's when they're available. Right. And I really miss those days for that reason. Now, I did enjoy going in at Walmart at 1 o'clock in the morning sometimes because it's
Nobody's there.
really good people watching.
Especially the North Fort Myers Walmart.
Right. The people watching was on fire back in those days, bro. Like, it was the thing to do. Like, hey, you want to go to Walmart?
Yeah.
Hey, what do you want? I'm bored.
Let's go to Walmart.
Let's go to Walmart. It's
Another
12:30.
thing-
But I'm in my
another thing
pajamas.
COVID
Who
killed.
cares?
Right.
Yeah.
24 hours in general.
Yeah.
Like, you can't find anything 24 hours. Cash and Carry was the last 24-hour grocery store ever to be in Southwest Florida. Do you know that? It's Cash and Carry.
Cash and Carry.
Last one ever. Do you remember those?
Yep.
Last one ever. They don't have one anymore. There's not one ever. Like, and it's just
There's nowhere
crazy
we
to
can
think
go
that.
in the middle of the night.
I don't even
if you
think
need
McDonald's is
anything?
open 24
There,
hours
no,
anymore.
there are some
some of them.
McDonald's. And there's one CVS open 24 hours in Lehigh.
Oh, Leah.
So if you
One
get
on Cape Coral Parkway also.
24 hours?
Yeah.
Are you
they?
sure?
It's either a CV, maybe a Walgreens.
You might be wrong now.
No, I looked it up. There's a pharmacy.
You might want
on
to look at it
Cape Coral
again because I'm
Parkway.
pretty sure I did this already twice in this year.
Yeah.
And
It's either CVS or it's Walgreens.
I think they're
could be mixing
both.
them up.
I think the only one open now is one CVS. But I hope you're right because if that's true, boy, that's going to change my life. I'm tired of driving to Lehigh.
Drugstores were open 24/7 back in the day, like Eckerd Drugs.
Right.
And like, all
Rite
of that. Yeah, they were 24/7.
Yeah,
You
but
walked
just
in